We got some major trades coming in the NFL. We got rookie quarterbacks making their first official starts, and we got Jerry Jones going off on radio hosts. All that and more here at the Gridiron. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Gridiron, brought to you by your friends here at Housecall Sports. I'm Justin, joined with Mike and Rob, and we got some NFL news that we want to talk about today. But before we get to all of that, a quick word from our great sponsors over at Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats is the most trustworthy and easy to navigate ticketing website. They have reliable and rewarding tickets and a 100% buyer guarantee, which means your transactions will always be safe and secure. You get full service customer care and be compensated for any canceled events. And it has the only ticket rewards program around. Now, what that means is I'm about to cancel my damn ticket to the Eagles game because guess what? There's a possibility my left tackle is not even going to be there for the rest of the season. But you know what? Just because it's my misery does not mean you need to be miserable with me. If you don't want to go to an NFL game, they got you with baseball for the playoff tickets. NBA's around the corner. NHL is just starting. So do us a favor. Go down to the link in our description. Go visit Vivid Seats. Go get your tickets and go sit vividly. Guys, we got some news to talk about here in the trade sphere of the NFL. Two big-time trades happening in the AFC East as the Bills land star wide receiver Amari Cooper and the Jets get superstar wide receiver Devontae Adams to pair back up with Aaron Rodgers. Now, we kind of foresaw the Jets one happening, but the fact that the Bills went out and countered and got a star wide receiver one of their own starts to stack things up between these two in the division. So what do you guys think about those trades? And what about also the possibility of Hassan Reddick once again being traded?
With Devontae Adams, it's a seamless transition. You got your quarterback again. He's a top 5 wide receiver. We've all lamented to this for countless occasions how good Devontae Adams is. He had Aiden O'Connell, Jimmy Garoppolo, list goes on. Quarterbacks that are basically subpar. They're not great quarterbacks. So now you got his quarterback. Here's the thing, though. This is not Aaron Rodgers 5 years ago. This is not Aaron Rodgers not even 3 years ago. This version of Aaron Rodgers, although he did pretty well against the Buffalo Bills last week, he's still aging, man. The guy gets hit one time and he's out. My biggest concern is the health of how long he can stay upright. As far as Amari Cooper, you're getting one of the best route technicians in the NFL on the Buffalo Bills, giving basically another receiver to Josh Allen, who, by the way, hasn't thrown an interception, right? If I'm not mistaken, he didn't throw one during the Jets game. He's gone from Mr. Turnover to Mr. I keep the ball clean, and that's the reason why they're a winning organization. We're 4-2. The AFC's just got that much more interesting. I just think that how drastic? Who made a more drastic move? I personally think that the Bills made a more drastic move, and with the Jets, they still have one of the worst rushing attacks. I don't know if that gets any better, and a brand new head coach and brand new signal caller and not brand new, but brand new to the Jets organization and Todd Downing.
Yeah, I agree with the Devontae Adams thing. I think he's going to make the Jets a little better, but I mean, that's not really their issue. Their issue, as you can see on Monday night, is they need a little bit more on that O-line. I mean, the running game is kind of non-existent. Braylon Allen's did a good job, but Breece Hall really couldn't do anything. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to help them, but definitely they need more than that. But I guess, I mean, like you said, Rob, it's not the Aaron Rodgers of old. It's an older version, and Devontae Adams is also older, so that's definitely going to be different. But I mean, they've got a chemistry, so I expect it to definitely go well. As for the Amari Cooper, I mean, that's exactly what Josh Allen needed. He needed another guy like that. I think he's got a lot more in the tank, and I think he's going to show that now. So I definitely think that that's going to be a big move for them. going forward. I mean, the Bills are already 4-2, unfortunately. So, having him now, it's definitely going to help them out. It's really what they needed, and I look forward to see what's going to happen going forward.
So, Josh Allen, yep, you were right, Rob. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions on the season so far. Something that is very shocking going into, week 7 of the NFL knowing this? Because he was somebody who was like a gunslinger. And this season, he's a little bit more careful with the ball. When it comes to these two receivers, I think these would be wins on both sides, except for the fact that now this puts more pressure on the Jets. Because with the Jets, it's like, what more do you want, Aaron? You got now your number one wide receiver. You still got players that you wanted on this team. And now the original head coach is fired. And you still just came off a loss to the Buffalo Bills. If the Jets season is not playoff bound or bust, there's going to be something very wrong with this organization for the next couple of years.
I'm just trying to figure out what part of the last 3 games that they could have won that ended, 2 out of 3 of those games ended in an interception by Aaron Rodgers. What part of the Broncos, Vikings, and Bills game would have been different with Devontae Adams? That all fell on Aaron Rodgers. Like that's the thing. Like, how much are we gonna keep on blaming everything around him? Like what T said many times. If Jack has a problem with Jill, Jack has a problem with Larry, Jack has a problem with Jeff. Well, guess what? Jack's the problem. So
yep.
I don't know, man. You got a guy that, what was it, the Vikings game? He got hit. He was literally crawling on all fours. How long until he can't stay upright? Because that offensive line ain't blocking him. And he ain't moving like a spring chicken. So I want to know how long that's going to last. Personally, I still think they don't make the playoffs. I don't. I don't know if they'll definitely beat the Patriots, but and they'll beat the Dolphins. They'll get their 2 free wins there. But everything else, man, it's all about chemistry, because now it depends on also what version of Devontae Adams we're going to get. And the only version I know is a guy that wants the ball. So is Garrett Wilson going to be like, hey, listen, I want the ball too? There's too many egos. There's too many cooks in the kitchen right now with the New York Jets. Too much people. He's not a leader. I've said this in countless episodes. Aaron Rodgers isn't a leader. And that type of mindset is the reason why this locker room, it may look good for 1 or 2, maybe in 3 weeks. I want to see what happens when there's adversity, because that locker room, with all those egos, it's not gonna go well.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have any more excuses at this point. He really doesn't. He's got everything that he wanted. So
Super Bowl or bust.
That's it. Yeah, and it's the Jets. So the Jets are going to Jets. I've said this many times, and I don't expect any different until they prove it to me.
And there you have it. The Jets are most likely going to jet. I get to watch it every week on TV. With these 2 new receivers, I can't wait to see how Christian Gonzo plays, because it's going to be even more fun watching him go one-on-one with these guys. But we brought up the Broncos, and this week, not just the Broncos, but we got 5 rookies that started games this past week in the NFL, including the long-awaited debut of Drake Maye. So I'm going to go through the stat lines of these quarterbacks, and then I'm going to turn it over to y'all. What did you guys think of these performances? And what do you think about it in terms of the Rookie of the Year race? Because as the weeks go on, this race is starting to get tighter and tighter, with maybe 1 runaway so far. So, Caleb Williams, 23 of 29, 226, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jaden Daniels, 24 of 35, 269, 2 touchdowns. I didn't get his rushing stats in here. I should have got that. Drake Maye, in his debut, 20 for 33, 243, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Already the best quarterback on your roster. Bo Nix, 19 of 33, 216, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And Spencer Rattler, making his debut for New Orleans, 22 of 40, 243, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
This class, I said from a while ago that was going to be special. I think Jaden Daniels is clear in a way he's the best. Well, not the best. I won't go that far because I personally think that who will be the best of this class will be Drake Maye. But right now, who is the rookie of the year is Jaden Daniels, and I really don't think it's close. I'm not impressed with Caleb Williams going against the Jacksonville Jaguars and putting up 4 touchdowns. When you have Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, the list goes on of all the damn targets this guy has, and he's now starting to perform. I still think he can be special, don't get me wrong. I just think that he has so much talent around him, and we're still making so many excuses for him. Bo Nix, I mean, I was never going to be impressed with him regardless. But they're winning games, so there's that. Sean Payton's a hell of a head coach, and I think he just needed his Drew Brees-esque type of player. Not saying he's Drew Brees because that's an insult to Drew Brees. But he needed someone that basically can take the tutelage and take the learning and take the lumps from him. Although Bo Nix kind of went at him the other day. In terms of Drake Maye, I don't think people understand what this kid just did. And what I mean by that, and 1 second, let me just get this stats pulled up on my page because I got to make sure I divulge on this very properly. Okay, so Drake Maye is the first quarterback since 1950 to throw for 3 touchdowns and lead his team in rushing. First quarterback, not rookie. First quarterback to do that. The only one of 2 rookies, him and Spencer Rattler, to throw a touchdown in their first career start. That means Bo Nix took 4 games. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels took 3 games apiece that scored their first touchdown. And he's one of 2 quarterbacks in the whole NFL that went against the Texans to throw over 3 touchdowns, 180 yards, and a 60% completion percentage. Those other quarterbacks that the Texans went against, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, who's the other guy that got those stats, Caleb Williams that we just mentioned, and Anthony Richardson. Going back to Caleb Williams, this is exactly why I got to see him do something against a team like what Drake Maye did. I'm sorry, that may be making me a homer, but you went against the Jags and did that. Drake Maye went against the Texans. But going back to this, Drake Maye did that with a third string practice squad center who basically just got picked up off waivers on the freaking Raiders practice squad. Missing his left tackle, no wide receiver 1, rookie head coach, rookie signal caller. What Drake Maye just did is historic. Historic. Am I saying he's the next Tom Brady? I don't know. Still, the jury's out on that. He still has a lot to prove. But he has nothing to work with. And he did that. I'm sorry. I think he's far and away the best quarterback in this class. It just won't show yet. Because if you were to go and switch places, if Jaden Daniels didn't have Terry McLaurin, if Caleb Williams didn't have all these receivers, would they have had the same success? I don't think so. Personally, I really don't. Because he has an offensive line that's having a pressure rate of over 50% on a weekly basis. They're literally on a historic... This offensive line is so bad, it hasn't been replicated since 2006. What this kid is doing is fucking special, and there's no way to overstate it. I don't know how y'all feel on Drake Maye, but I've been saying this since day fucking 1. The moment you give this kid a wide receiver 1, which, by the way, I prescribe to the notion of a DK Metcalf because there's a rippling effect that's going on with Geno Smith, and I will welcome that. Imagine Drake Maye to fucking DK Metcalf that would feed families. But the moment this kid's surrounded with any sort of talent, because our offensive line is dead fucking last. And he did that against the Texans, by the way, who had allowed a touchdown of over 30 yards. Like what this fucking kid did, and he's like, you know, hold my coffee. I'll throw for 40-yard touchdown with basically Keishawn Butte's a 6th-round draft pick. But I'll let you guys expunge on it more because if I could keep talking about all the naysayers that said he was going to be a bust. I know it's one game, it's a knee-jerk reaction, but he did against the Texans, who had Josh Allen throw for 131 yards, 9 for 31, by the way. A rookie did better than you, bud. Step it the fuck up. 1 touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, who Mr. Transcendent, my fucking ass. 8 for 33, 54%, 2 touchdowns, but he threw for 169 yards. Sam Darnold, the guy that I don't even expunge on his stats. He did great. But you have Justin Jefferson. Caleb Williams, 23 to 37, 62%, 174 yards, and Anthony Richardson, 9 for 19, 47% completion percentage, 212 yards.
Yeah. What Drake May did was unbelievable. It was the first time in a long time that it was exciting to watch the offense. And he should have started from the beginning of the year. He's the exact same quarterback he was. He beat Brissett out in training camp. He should have been the starter at the beginning of the year, 100%. Again, what he did. I wouldn't go that far. What he did though, like you said, it's unbelievable. We have a JV offensive line. I thought he was going to be getting hit a lot more, and it seemed like he started to figure it out in that second half. He was a little shaky in the first half, but once he started clicking, it was awesome to watch. Finally, some excitement and some hope for the future. Jaden Daniels is definitely right now, just definitely playing the best out of all the rookies. I mean, he went up against a good Baltimore Ravens defense, probably the best team in the NFL as of right now. And he put up great numbers again. So, very impressive. And then Caleb Williams, he's got a great defense over there. So, I'm not giving him a ton of credit yet. He's kind of figuring it out, but he's got a great weapon over there. He's got, Keenan Allen and Swift and DJ Moore. I mean, he's got a great team, so we'll see how he does. But right now, Jaden Daniels is far above the best. But again, Drake May, like you said, you put one more weapon with him, and he probably is going to be the best pick out of this draft. And
you swap places with any one of those rookies. He's doing I mean, Justin, man, I'm not being a homer here, man. You swap places with any of those rookies, and you have them deal with what he deal with. I guarantee you they wouldn't have done what he did.
Oh, I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, 100%. If he goes on any other team, he's probably putting up 6 touchdowns. I mean, we finally got to see what Pop Douglas really is. So it is exciting, and there is some hope now.
So he throws to 2 6th-round picks which, by the way, both had their first touchdowns. So people cannot pretend like he's throwing to fucking Terry McLaurin, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen for Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton for Bo Nix. This is apples to oranges at this point. He's throwing to your mom and dad's Walmart bag shoppers. I'm sorry. I think DeMario Douglas and all these guys are good, but they're wide receiver 2s. And they just had their first touchdown.
Yeah.
In their career. That means Mac Jones and Cam Newton, all these guys couldn't do it. Even though Cam Newton never had DeMario Douglas and Keishawn Boutte. But that's besides the point. Anyways. I'm getting fucking fired up because this kid's fucking awesome.
I was waiting for that one. Where's the wall, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Where's the wall?
I was waiting for that one. Look. I gave y'all time to talk about Drake May. I'm going to talk about the 2 quarterbacks that have impressed me after this. Jaden Daniels, which now I hate because now I have to deal with this guy in my division for the next 5 years. First couple games, he was just throwing behind the line of scrimmage, going off for screens, giving the ball to his playmakers. Now he's actually becoming the playmaker. Now he is not afraid to take those deep shots to Terry McLaurin. He's not afraid to throw those screens to Austin Eckler. He is launching the ball, and he's basically doing what he did at LSU because he has that confidence. The same confidence Drake Maye had after he got that deep shot for the touchdown. You saw the game change for him at that point.
Confidence is a hell of a fucking drug, man. And the thing is, though, I hate to cut you off. Cliff Kingsbury needs to get his fucking flowers because
I ain't gonna go that far. I'll give him his flowers after year 2.
Okay.
Because I saw the same thing in Arizona, and then I saw it flop right after.
I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to be playing too much Call of Duty, but that's just me.
And hopefully watching more film. But, and I say this about all rookie quarterbacks, everything looks great in year 1. Year 2 is where we really get to see if it sticks, because guess what? Teams have film on you now. But the other quarterback who impressed me in his first start was Spencer Rattler. You're going out there against the Bucs that are an aggressive defense. And yes, you didn't put up the best game.
Didn't Housecall say that Spencer Rattler was going to be special?
Yes.
Okay.
Housecall did say that. We also said he needs time, which he still does. But we talked about confidence. That man is not afraid to push the ball down the field. Yes, he's going to throw interceptions like he did. Yes, he may get hit a couple of times, but he's going to make plays eventually when the game starts slowing down for him. So don't be shocked if next year or the year after, he's officially the full-time starter down there in New Orleans. With that, we got to go to the next topic, and it's a topic that I am going to enjoy because I always love talking shit about NFC East rivals. I especially love talking shit about a certain owner of America's team. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones went on a radio station for his weekly appearance and got some harsh questions and criticisms about the team's offseason.
Was it harsh? Was it harsh, man? Was it really harsh? It's questions, man.
Look. Hence the air quotes, harsh.
Well, there may be listeners, so we got to make sure that they understand that this is
I'm going to give him the exact questions that he was asked. He was asked about the Cowboys' lack of aggressiveness on defense, because we know they have athletic pass rushers and athletic defense all together, but they don't have the power, especially on the line. So he was asked about that, and he was asked if the team's lack of urgency in the offseason, whether it was free agency or the draft, may have had anything happen, may have had a hand in the lack of performance over the season. And guess what? Jerry Jones went off on the guy, talking about it's not his job to question all the things and say whether or not something had caused the lack of production in the season. It is not the radio host's job to make these kinds of questions to him. And if he continues to do it, Jerry Jones said he is not afraid to hire somebody who will actually do his job and basically threaten the man's career just for asking a simple question that every Cowboys fan is asking. So guys, everybody knows how I feel about owners being in the spotlight. I feel like if your owner of your NFL team is in the media, then your team is going to suck. We've seen it in Carolina. We've seen it with my Giants, and we're seeing it in Dallas. And we see it in Dallas all the freaking time.
We're seeing with the Patriots with basically Robert Kraft on the radio host. I forget what it was. Might have been the Greg Hill show. I can't remember who it was. Basically saying that, listen, we've been under the impression. I know this is going on a little bit of a tangent, but this goes to show you that the owners need to take the mic away from their fucking mouths. Robert Kraft just admitted to firing Bill Belichick after they said they was mutual parting of ways.
Yeah,
but going back to Jerry Jones, because we're not going to go on a tangent on that, because that could be his fucking rabbit hole in itself. Jerry Jones, you got what, a punter this offseason? Or what did they really get this offseason?
A long snapper.
Okay, a long snapper. Tomato, still fucking tomato can. It's the same shit, man. Us as analysts, we're reporters, our job is to ask the questions. If you can't handle the questions, then don't give us reasons to ask the questions. The people get paid to ask these questions. What do you want them to ask you about? What you ate for fucking breakfast? This is not how it works. Which probably is like cream of wheat or some bullshit that fucking makes sure your stool is good. Jerry Jones, you need to hang it up, man. Give the reins to your son or whoever else, because you're destroying the Dallas Cowboys, or what it's supposed to be America's team. Which, by the way, I don't think it's America's team, because like, if this is America's team, how are you gonna be called America's team when you're fucking losing at this rate? But
when you haven't won the Super Bowl since the 80s.
The 90s.
90s.
This goes to show you the owners need to just stay out of the spotlight. Like Khan with the Jaguars saying, I mean, he keeps on lamenting too that I guess people saying he said that basically that this is the best Jags team and whatever they're gonna do.
And
stay out of
the coaching change.
Leave that to the fucking head coach and front office GM, and I'll leave it at that, because I know you're gonna go on a tangent, Justin.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let y'all have y'all time first before I go on my little tangent.
Listen, Jerry Jones has been the worst owner in the NFL for over a decade now, and he knows that he didn't do anything in the offseason. He didn't sign Dak Prescott until the very beginning of the year, right before the season started. You know, he could have went out and got a Derrick Henry, but he didn't. And now he's mad that people are asking him questions. They want to know, why are you just re-signing you guys? You didn't do anything. And what he said was
he just let his players get disgruntled because for whatever reason, and go and comment on I think it was like an interview where he was saying, and CD Lamb literally re-quoted it in a tweet. Like, bro, like it's not a good look.
It's bad. It's embarrassing.
Feeling a sense of urgency to sign him.
Yeah. But now he's just abusing his power. He didn't like the questions that he was being asked, and that's that guy's job, to ask you those questions for the fans. And he straight up was just on a power trip that morning, and you don't do that, because he knew that was going to be nationally talked about.
Props to the commentator, the analyst, whoever was reading off those questions, because he didn't back down.
I like that.
He's probably fired, but there may be there may be some type of loophole where you can't fire him because he's just asking you questions. Like, he's not. There's nothing demeaning.
I hope not.
I don't know if there's grounds for dismissal on what he was asking.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got an owner that wants to be the celebrity more than the team and the logo, you got a problem. And that's really what the Dallas Cowboys are. It's the same thing everywhere. It's the same shit every single year. You know, we talk about them. Oh, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to be incredible this year. And they lose in the first round of the Green Bay Packers. It's going to happen. It's the same story. It's going to be the same story every season. As long as he's the owner, that's just what's going to happen. And I expect it every single year. Same story.
Except for now, that division's passed you by. They're not making the playoffs, period.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. And here's the thing. And this is a problem with not only the Dallas Cowboys. This is an NFL problem with certain organizations whom we've talked about already. Owners need to worry about their responsibilities. An owner's job is to increase the value of their respective teams, which Jerry Jones has done a phenomenal job of. The Dallas Cowboys are pretty much the most valuable team in all of sports. Great. Your job is to not get on the camera and spiel about your team. I say that to Jerry Jones. I say that to John Mara. I say that to the Khans. I say that to Tepper out in Carolina. Your temper tantrums and your little media gripes is one of the reasons why your team is failing. And if your team has been failing for numerous years, a la Dallas, New York, Carolina, and Jacksonville, all four teams, at some point, the finger's going to be pointed at you as the reason why your team is messed up. Because you could go over GMs, you could go over head coaches, but if you're cycling through different ones and the result is still the same, the fault's on you, my boy. And Jerry Jones, I have a little bit of love for you because you and I are in the same fraternity. You are a brother to me. But as a brother, I need to tell you, it's time to hang it up. Sell the team. Conserve whatever little pride you have left, because unless you're going to just disappear for a while and give the team to your son, this team is going to be in the shithole. you will never be more than a first-round bop in the playoffs at best. And that's all I'm going to leave it with, because I got to deal with y'all one more time on Thanksgiving. And I can't wait to see the implosion after that one on national TV.
Because they still got to pay fucking Micah Parsons. Like, they still got to. How are they going to pay him when they don't have the money?
Honestly, with the way that this season is looking like it's going to go, they're better off trading Micah.
Hey, listen.
We'll take him.
Hey, listen, Micah, we have the most cap space, but we need a pass rusher to go with Keon White. Holy fuck. Oh my God, I almost just got hyped because we can pay this boy. Let's go. Hey, Patriots, Robert Kraft, I need you to actually turn on your mic for this one. Robert Kraft, go get Micah Parsons.
Please.
You know what? Y'all do that. Get him out of the conference for us, let alone the division. Get him out of the conference. I only have to deal with him once every, 4 years then? I'm chilling. But guys, that is all the time we have here at the Gridiron. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. Once again, we got Mike in the building. We got Rob in the building. Tune in for more episodes. We do episodes every week here, from our prediction shows to our recaps like these. Also, don't forget about our amazing sponsors over at Vivid Seats. Go check them out, as well as the rest of our sponsors down in the comments below. It was great, entertaining.
One second. I gotta keep lamenting to this every week. We're about one follower away from 5.9K on Instagram. We just hit 6K on Facebook. We hit 600 on TikTok. The following and the people that support what we do, it's appreciated. Thank you. Go ahead, Justin.
And with that being said, we will see you guys next time. Peace.